Greetings, adventurers and people and stuff. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Class Action Point podcast. So we're just gonna go straight into the adventure, because, well, introductions will happen as we go. So, our adventure starts in a small town near a lake, where a group of random people are preparing to board a caravan somewhere.
Yes, be more specific. You're
Specifically, there is a elven fella with in kind of loose-fitting clothing. There's a guy who currently has bunny ears. No, wait, no, fox. Sorry, fox. Fox looks kind of like a fox at the moment.
Don't forget the tail. He's got a nice bushy tail.
Sorry, I got things mixed up a bit. A pair of females with horns, and a small green man. Currently, at the preparing to board a caravan, which already has a passenger on it. A very old and elderly dwarf of some sort. This is not the other PC, by the way. And the so anybody want to say anything before they get on board? The caravan has enough room for about 2 or 3 people, as well as your luggage. So a couple of you will have to probably walk at least for a while.
I'll just transform into a fox and sit on someone's lap.
Okay.
I'm just gonna muster up the biggest scow in the world and get into the caravan.
Okay. Who else is gonna try and ride? There's room for one. There's definitely room for one more, maybe 2 if you really crowd in.
I ain't walking, so I'm gonna try to go on.
Trying to get on. Alrighty.
So what is this, like a wagon?
It's a large wagon, yes. Pulled by what appears to be a very large horse. Maybe.
I think the little green man, as you termed him, he's going to try to get on the wagon. He's kind of short, so he's trying to jump up there. Everybody probably beat him in there already.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's not going to try, so he's probably just kind of like hanging on to like an edge, just kind of like barely sitting on the edge of the... He kind of smells a little funny too, so...
Yes, perception checks from all the other characters that are available. See how offended you are by the small green man. And nobody's rolling, are they?
Well, I was gonna say Aya is gonna be boarding the wagon too, but not in the cabin. She's gonna be standing on top, gloriously.
It's not a covered wagon, so it's kind of, it's not really...
She still found a way up there.
She found a way up there. She's attempting to stand on some of the luggage. It's not very comfortable, or, for that matter, safe.
Oh,
right.
She has an 8 in wisdom. Safety is not her concern.
So the elf fellow definitely notices that. And it seems to be coming from the back where the small green pointy-eared being is sitting. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that. Sephruz doesn't really gets a whiff of it, but is not sure where it's coming from. Other than that,
I just internalize my disgust and kind of stare at the goblin warily.
Yep.
My fox head kind of swivels around, just scanning, trying to figure out where this is coming from.
Yeah.
But then I just kind of stop caring and put my head back down.
Okay.
But yeah, because Aya is gloriously standing on top of the wagon as best as she can, she is not downwind of this stench, so she cannot smell it.
Alrighty, Aya needs to make an acrobatics check though to stay, on the thing as it's starting to move.
Alright, no bonuses or penalties, so... 8.
Yeah.
Bump, back on the luggage.
Yeah, well...
She keeps trying to get back up there and falling back down, getting back up, falling back down.
Yeah. She's doing her best to try and stand on the luggage, and it's not having it at all.
Won't stop her from trying.
So
she eventually gets the idea. She eventually gets the idea to just spear the top of the big chest that she's standing on. Just to stick her spear down there to hold on to that.
Who owns the big chest of the pig chest then?
I don't know.
Who has a big chest full of personal belongings?
I'd only have a rucksack.
Anybody?
It's probably
just wearing my belongings.
Like, wait.
I'm saying right now it's Dweon's because he's spoiled. He's gonna be like, inside I got my bed and I got 5 sets of clothes and here's my airbrush. But
here's my giant bomb that has a big red button on it just in case.
Yeah. Okay. You stuck it. It's like just a kind of a nice travel trunk that he carries his. Not spoiled, but
Yeah,
so you stick your spear in it.
He just has a lot.
Wait. There's she stuck the tip, jabbed it with the tip so that she can maintain her balance. And Dweon's like,
So
wait, you're a tiefling, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, you just stick the tip in, and Dweon goes to say something, but he's like, "Hey, what? Oh." He just kind of shyly looks away.
Yep, Zool noticed the innuendo I made.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that did not.
So where is Sefru's, parking himself in his fox form? There isn't a whole lot of room, so you almost have to be on someone's lap or really close to them.
I'd probably choose.
Choose. Did you just drop? Funny sounds are coming from Alex. Alex.
I gotta.
Alex, you're doing funny things.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I've got a weird connection sometimes with these headphones, but I'd probably just choose the Lady Tiefling because she seems like she's the least likely to murder me.
Which Lady Tiefling? There's a couple of them.
The one that's not trying to hold onto the roof.
Okay, so what does the Lady Tiefling want to do with the now fox trying to get onto her lap?
Sure, why not? I'll let him on my lap. I'm not gonna hog up all the space.
Yeah.
I'd feel kind of guilty if people couldn't ride because of me.
Yeah.
More than already is happening.
Speaking of which, who wasn't riding? There was.
Looks like to me Murdoch.
Well, Murdoch isn't quite isn't with you right now. We'll explain why later. But
so he's with BA in the chopper.
Whatever. Caesar's the only one I'm not sure where he's at, if he's sitting or
Oh, I might have been the first one to call dibs on a wagon seat. Yeah, he was in there immediately.
Alright, so basically it's very
everybody's
crowded.
trying to get on there.
Yeah, it's quite crowded on the thing. Yeah, cart, sorry.
And Andrew, I'm gonna say that because Dwayne is trying to get on, just trying to squeeze on the edge on the very back. He keeps on falling off as the cart is rolling along.
Yeah.
So half the time he's kind of running behind it, and then half the time he's trying to jump on it. It's kind of
yeah. Almost every big bump he falls off. Almost.
Yes.
He holds on once or twice, but really the bumps are. This is not a good trail right now. In fact, you seem to be going through what appears to be a very heavily forested and hilled area. So, at the top of a hill, as you're starting to head down, yeah, there'll be bumps and stuff here and there. There's trees all over the place. Meanwhile, as you're, after a little while, the dwarf there in your, who's also an elderly dwarf who's in your, in the cart as well, kind of leaning up against some of the luggage in the back of the cart. Kind of wakes up and kind of like looks over and sees Dweon as he's sitting when he's actually sitting on the side edge of the cart, and is like, you don't look so good, laddie. You're all green.
Hey, dwarfy guy, you're looking kind of green yourself.
Well, looks like you caught whatever I had. Oh, head.
So what does this dwarf look like, Andrew? Is he like really elderly or what?
It's fairly old. He has kind of a reddish brown beard and hair. He's starting to go a bit bald. And he has just the slightest bit of like gray in some of the edges of his hair, but not quite yet in his beard.
Is he like wearing armor or anything, or is he kind of just like a passenger deal?
He's wearing what appears to be not necessarily, armor you'd actually fight in, but more like a decorative, like kind of like a dress uniform type thing would be with like a blue and silver tabard on it. And he
So does he?
What?
Does he look like he has money then?
He also appears to have like a like there's a little like not necessarily a badge, but kind of like a badge shaped like patch on like the shoulder of his like the tabard hat. Well, not exactly a tabard, but like a shirt under his armor that comes out out from it. You can make me a history check if you want to see what kind of thing it might, what it means.
Ooh, I think I'm trained in history. Let's see. Oh yes, I am.
It looks familiar, but you can't really place where it might have been from. You think you've seen it recently, but you can't quite put where.
Now, does he look like he's got some, like, is he wealthy, you think, or well off?
He does look fairly well off, not like, like he's the king of the dwarves or anything, but not like he's like, a homeless peasant either. Kind of in the high parts of the mid-range. As you're looking at him, he looks over and sees that there's two women with horns. And he's like, "Must seem double."
Nope, there's two of us.
Okay. Why is there a fox on your lap? You one of those wizard things? Have the animal thing, companion thing?
As he asks this, Sephruz gets up off of Zul's lap and moves over and jumps on Cedra's shoulder, saying that he is an elf.
I try to dodge, but I don't have the room for it, so you're successful in that one.
Yeah. Well, you have the room for it. You could always jump off the cart.
Oh,
it's just you probably didn't want to.
Well, we're moving at like 5 miles an hour. I'm sure that could be deadly.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, you'd probably get some bruises or scrapes, on the landing.
Not to mention you have a fox coming after you.
Yeah. I just turn to the Henge Yokai and I say, never mind, I don't, scratch that. I started laughing. My bad.
Meanwhile, Aya still continues to stand there gloriously, occasionally kind of shaking due to the bumpiness of the cart, but then continues to be glorious, staring ahead into the distance.
In the distance, there appears to be a lot more forest and more hills and stuff. It's quite a ways to go.
Now, Jared, what?
Faculty?
What?
Does the dwarf look like staff or faculty from the university, or is he just like a?
Well, he's a lot older than most students would be, at the very least. So he's probably either not a student or a late bloomer if he's a student. Also, you do notice that little badge type, patch. You can give me a history check as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's +9 for a total of 12.
Total of 12. Again, like Dweon, it looks familiar, but you're not quite placing where it's from. You're pretty sure you've seen it fairly recently before, but you can't place where.
Ugh, I know I'm going to kick myself when I find out.
Yeah. As you're heading over a hill, up a hill and heading downward, you're coming to where where there's a curve in the road near the bottom of the hill, and things are gonna happen.
Are they?
Yep. And give me some perception checks.
Oh boy. Not only is Aya naturally bad at this, but she's focusing too much on being glorious.
Glorious, staring in the distance and not noticing the things right around her.
Yes. She is thinking too hard about her divine mission, so to speak.
I rolled a 7 plus a 7 for a 14.
Alrighty.
11.
Alrighty, I'm looking over here. Alrighty. Dweon and Cedra can bear, Dweon because he's done a few of these kind of things as practical jokes than anything else. And Cedra because he just kind of has this would be a great place probably for a bit of an ambush, because most carts have to maneuver them a bit to get them around such a sharp corner. So it would be a good place for an ambush, maybe, while you're trying to get your cart, going the right way.
I think Dweon would think that. he would be like sitting on the edge of the cart thinking, oh, yeah, this would be a good place for an ambush. But I don't think he would say anything to the group just yet. That would just make him seem even more weird than he already feels.
Yeah, it's just something he would at least think of. Cedra might if he thinks about it.
I probably think about ambushes all the time, so it'll be too mundane of a thought for me to imagine bringing it up.
Okay, so as you're getting down to the to that area, we will have a new map.
Will we?
Oh yeah, as you're coming down to the end of that road and getting ready to turn around, there's a new map. So go ahead and put your characters somewhere where you think where they would be about. There's a bunch of luggage in the back of the cart. There's a dwarf. There's obviously very sick, radioactive, and other stuff.
He is the same color as I am.
Just about, yeah. And what Cedra needs to get on the cart or wherever he's going to be. Is Cedra there?
I don't see my character. Oh, there he is. I just wasn't up far enough. There we go.
Yeah, it's I put them just off the side of the border.
Is this not attached to my character sheet?
I think it might be. I think it is. You have a thing called Blistering Flourish and a new ability 0 up on the top.
Oh, yep. Okay, it is.
Yeah, so.
I was just dragging wrong, I guess.
Yeah, anyways. So you have.
Now, Andrew. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Just because I'm kind of sometimes lacking in imagination, could we just go through a description of our characters? Because I'm like, okay, Cedra is the fox. No, wait, he's not the fox. He's the elf, right?
Yeah, okay. I was actually planning to have you describe your characters on your first turn.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do it that way. I'm sorry.
We can do it that way if you want. All right.
Because I'm taking notes if anybody needs to know.
Yes. I know why, because, well, things can be confusing. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm just getting some monsters on the turn order. Just one more.
Another very important question, Andrew. So is our cart really being pulled by unicorn pooping sparkles?
I hope so.
No, it's totally a horse. No, really. It's totally a horse. It's totally a horse. No, really.
It's pooping sprinkles onto what looks like a cupcake.
Yep.
So you don't deny it then?
Alrighty.
Now I want KFC and a cupcake.
I actually still have a few cupcakes for my birthday. I should finish them off. Alrighty. Let's get us. So we can get some initiatives going here. Why is this not? There we go. What the hell? Something weird's going on here with my thing. There we go. Alrighty. I'm getting my monsters real quick before I forget. Okay. Come on. that one. And that one, and finally one more. And a 13.5, that one. Let's make sure. Ia has rolled a total of 2. Right. For
glorious.
last.
Too glorious.
She was too busy basking in her own glory on top of the guard. She didn't even notice.
Yep. So.
Well, she was. The important distinction is that she wasn't basking in her own glory. She was being glorious. Radiating
Fair
the
enough, my
light.
mistake.
Whatever.
Radiating the light of Bahamut.
Alright, let's make sure everyone's on the list. Has initiative. Okay. First up is a group of kobolds known as Coward B. What are they gonna do?
Run away.
No, they're not quite that cowardly yet.
Oh, there's more down there. I didn't see those.
Yep. So this
Oh,
Coward
God.
B. 1, 2, 3. They get a signal that somebody says yub yub, and they start, coming out of the woodwork here. This one
I
is
thought
going.
Yub Yub was a goblin thing.
Yeah, are they speaking Goblin?
No, they're speaking Draconic. However, yub yub is a common. It has different meanings in different languages, but it's usually a bad meaning.
Well, fortunately, Aya speaks Draconic.
Yeah, basically, you don't want to repeat what they said in common. It's very, very foul. Very foul.
Is it?
Yes, and I am not going to mention it.
But why are they talking about chickens?
Mm-hmm.
That would be a conversation most foul.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right.
Oh, come on, you know that joke was golden.
The two cowards here are going to throw knives at somebody.
Do we have any cover because we're in the wagon?
Yeah. They have to angle it in a bad way to get it into at people in the wagon.
All right.
So
Partial cover?
first attack rolls are going to be.
No, what they had to do is they had to do it Angry Bird style, where they throw the knives into the air and hope that they angled it correctly.
Yeah, well, one of these is going to throw a knife at Zool. The other, I think it's Sephruz, because they're the ones who are closest to them. So.
Do I get a bonus to AC considering I'm still in fox form, so I'm a smaller target?
They will at least have. You'll have cover. Because it's a hard way to get in there.
There is no Sephruz.
First one on Zool. Okay.
Yep.
That's how this is going. Does. Let me see here. 4 damage. And that's about it. And the one
Okay, it's not too bad then.
On Sephruz. Probably misses.
That misses anything.
By a lot. It basically buries its dagger that it threw in the side of the cart.
I hiss.
And it is Cedra's turn.
Go, Cedra! Use Hydro Pump!
I stand up shocked and I state the obvious. Look, kobolds! And I point at this one and I say, I'm going to take this one out.
Alrighty.
And I do a running, jumping kick into the area and do a little spinny thing. And let's see if it works.
Basically, you're
five
doing a
storms.
hurricane kick into them.
Yes. And I'm going to 5 storms the one to my right and 6 o'clock.
He leaps in the air and goes, Hatsumaki Senpu Kaku!
Alrighty, that guy first.
I didn't specify which one first, but that's good.
Yeah, 18 versus reflex will hit either of them. Both of them. Yep.
Already, they both take 5 damage then. Oh, and my description of my character. Okay, so I'm an elf. I've just got short hair, kind of cut pretty close to top of my head. It's very short. I'm just wearing cold weather clothing, and I'm not looking kind of too happy in it because it's a little bit of a temperate environment at the moment. And so it's like a lot of like kind of furs and stuff with like kind of like the fur trimmed collars and stuff, and otherwise it's just like loose clothing. And I'm barefooted, and I got a couple weapons strapped to me. I got a sword, and I got a knife, and I got a water skin, which is not a weapon, but I'll probably still use it like one if I have to.
Go Jackie Chan on him.
Now, what color is Cedra's hair?
Oh, black. You probably can't tell with the way it is, though, because of how short it is.
It's very short. That's short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost bald or like just a buzz cut type thing, or just
like accidentally keeps lighting hair on fire. Short.
Like most of it is very short. There's like 2 strands coming out that's long because you missed that spot.
So like Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Kind of like Charlie Brown, but not quite.
Yeah. You have a couple of you've been lucky, or at least that spot's been lucky for a little while now.
Yeah, if I keep it any longer than this, I risk lighting up pretty easily.
Yeah.
So now every time you miss an attack, are you going to say "good grief"?
Good grief.
I am now.
Cannon.
Alrighty, so that was your turn.
Hey, quick question. How did you get that descriptor in Roll20 like that? That was pretty awesome. I've never seen that before.
Which one?
Descriptor. The one that pops up 5 storms and,
Oh, I just I formatted it all like that. Each little value on your character sheet has like a thing it means, and let me give you the wiki link.
Okay, that's cool. I'll look it up later.
We can mention that and explain it a little bit later on, but there's
I'll do that
ways
later
you can
for
make
sure.
stuff like that through your
it's pretty cool.
character sheets and stuff. Kind of it's a fairly new thing compared to some of the other stuff, but it's a little complicated too to get till you get used to it. All right, so Cedra has done his thing. Zool has been stabbed at a distance with a knife. However, the person who did that is now, well, let's just say, inside out and dead.
I didn't think it'd be that much more dangerous at the school than it was in the manor.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll go to a description of my character real quick. I am I'm a tiefling. I have dark hair, relatively lightish skin. Also, I tend to dress more in tunics and more comfortable traveling clothes, even if I am more of from a noble family.
Yep.
And I generally subconsciously play with this psionic focus I have, which is an orb.
So you play with your ball. Got it.
If you want to put it that way, I play with my ball. But I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to do a Augment 0 Dishearten centered right here, which I think should hit 2 cowards.
Yes, you can. They've basically become a little bit more. The whole, get them, the bleepers type thing, that whatever the leader was, they started kind of crawling out of the woodwork, and you can see the coward A there as well.
Okay.
a little bit, but he's still kind of behind the bush. So, but yeah, it doesn't really have cover from where the area effect is coming from. It's just,
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
So which one?
First one's 19.
Which one was the first one? B or A?
I'll go with B. I'll go like clockwise. So B, and then A is the second one.
Oh yeah, I think that's a crit.
Oh
Nice.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Now,
So
what
what
move
happens
is this?
when you dishearten them?
Yeah.
Particularly the crit, cause yeah. Did you just make him kill himself? Cause yeah, you made him that depressed.
His heart shuts down, and he just like dies writhing in pain.
She makes him cough up his own heart, and thus he is disheartened.
Damn it.
As he dies, he goes, Kalma, Kalma.
And then I'm gonna move right there because I really don't want to get stabbed again.
Alright, shifter number 1. This
We
little
won't
kobold.
get stabbed again.
This little kobold has a bunch of knives and like a bandolier on him, as well as a short sword with one hand. And he's gonna run up to Cedra.
I motion him forward, like, come on, bro.
He's going to use something called Shifty Shifty. He makes a basic melee attack, then a basic range attack. He's going to stab you with his short sword, or try to at least. He might have hit you with it.
He did.
Alright, let me get the dice for this.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
He does a whole 8 damage to you, and it's part of his melee basic. He gets a shift 1 square. So he can go over here. And then he's going to throw a knife at you. Part of his basic range attack. Which is +6. And that probably won't hit, though. Does a 12 hit your AC?
It does not.
Okay. His knife goes wide. And just not quite close, not even close enough to be grabbed by you, but it just goes in all the wrong direction.
I motion to grab for it anyway, even though I'm not successful.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of your reach by about 5 feet. He did not throw very well. And it's Sephruz. Is Sephruz still a fox?
For at the moment, you see a little black fox with a very astounding silver stripe on his back jump out of the
You're a
wagon.
skunk?
Silver, not white.
Okay, just making sure. It sounds like
You better watch out then. Pepe Le Pew will be on your case.
He jumps out of the wagon and you see his body slowly start to transform, and he becomes very humanoid, but he still has fur completely covering his body. And at some point you see a rucksack and 2 blades appear on his body, and no one's really sure where they came from, but whatever. He takes
Because as his body morphs, they come straight out of his ass.
I didn't say where it came from. It's a mystery, man. But yes, it did. He gets down into a crouching position as if poised to strike, and he runs at Shifter 1 and strikes at him with his longsword.
Alrighty. 18, I think, hits. Yep, it hits.
Alright, he hits him with his longsword. As he hits him, he swings around with the short sword on his offhand.
Not quite there. He parries it with his own short sword.
Alright.
He got hurt by the first attack. Then, as you're coming around the other side, he parries you with his short sword, barely.
Alright, and after that strike, Sephruz shifts away.
Okay. Alrighty. Shifter number 3 is way down here, I think. Yep, that's him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? He is going to charge Cedra. So it's the total of +7. Doing a charge bonus.
Oh, he hits me.
Yeah, he hit you.
Yeah, he came at me from the side. I couldn't have deflected that.
Yeah. 11 whole damage. Ow. He hits hard when he wants to. And as part of his little his Bailey basic, he gets to shift 1 square. So he's gonna go here. And that was his turn.
We should probably throw some heals at Cedra.
And I'm bloodied now.
Yeah.
Yeah, put the red dot on you so we know you're bloodied. Among other things. And it is the group of cowards. They're going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The coward A here is going to throw a knife at Cedra. And hit for 4 damage.
Alrighty.
Ouch.
Coward A,
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
this coward A is going to try and stab Seafruit with his knife. I think he has a knife. Yep, stab. He's going to stab you with his stabby stab. Versus AC, 19.
That's gonna hit.
Alright, take your 4 damage. And Shifter 2 is turned. Shifter 2 is going to... He is going to use his shifty throw and try and throw a knife. Yeah, he's going to try and throw a knife at Cedra.
Stop picking on Cedra.
Oh,
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
bad. Yeah, this is gonna be bad. 8 damage.
Alrighty. I'm unconscious.
And next up is Dweon Richardson, the junior or third?
The third, please.
The third.
Yes.
Alrighty, describe yourself.
So Dweon is peeking out from behind the cart, and his eyes are just big as saucers because he's just like, he sees all these kobolds coming. Dweon is obviously a goblin, but he's a little different than some goblins that you may have encountered before because he's not the gaunt, sinewy goblin that you might have seen. He's much more plump. And I wouldn't say he's fat, but he's got
Chubby.
more weight on him. Yeah, he's a little chubby. He's got a big round face and a big kind of not a big mop, but a small mop of dirt brown hair on top of his head. It looks like he's got some leather armor on underneath, maybe a tunic. But it's a fairly, looks like it's been taken care of and hasn't seen a lot of action. And he also has a bunch of satchels, like a ridiculous amount of satchels that he's got hanging over, a strap over one arm and a strap over the other arm, and they're crisscrossing over him. And so at first, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to take a free action. He's going to try to shake the dwarf that's right in front of him. And he says something to the effect, hey, come on, get up, we're under attack.
Alrighty. Then I need to make an attack versus... Well, your reflex. Then.
What?
The 19 hit your reflex.
From the dwarf that I'm shaking?
You'll find out why.
Yes, that hits my reflex.
Alrighty, you get covered in vomit as you're trying to shake him, and
Oh, I see.
It's not a good idea to shake the sick dwarf.
Yes, he pukes on me. Blech.
Yeah, not fun.
Dweon looks at it and just like he's repulsed but confused at the same time. He doesn't know exactly.
The dwarf's out of it at the moment.
He takes a little step back from the cart, and then he sees Cedra going down. So he reaches in one of his pouches. Now, if I cast, here's a question, just curious. So if I do cast a healing spell on him, does that bring him back?
Brings him back. He heals if he was at 0, yes.
If he's at 0, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, as if he's at 0 then.
Yeah, from 0 and heals
gotcha.
From there, yes.
Okay, so this is what Dweon does, is he reaches in one of his satchels and he pulls out this little sphere. It's about the size of maybe a lime or an orange. This one's glowing green, and he throws it right at Cedra. Cedra's on the ground. It kind of explodes on him, and a healing infusion just covers him. It heals him for a healing surge value plus my wisdom modifier, which is a 2.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And that is a minor action.
Alright, so you can use your surge plus 2 for that. And Dweon, you still have a few, at least one more action, at least a standard action left.
I have a move and a stand.
Yeah, you have a move too.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, shifter 2's right there. I am going to, despite my best judgment, he is going to he reaches into another pouch and this time pulls out this little black orb, or a little black sphere. And he's going to chuck it at this shifter guy over here. How come it's not letting me click on him?
Hold down the...
There, yeah, I know. For some reason it wasn't doing it. Yep. No, it's not doing. My left click is not working on him. Anyway. Yeah.
Shifter 2. I have
Shifter 2.
Name and stuff, so Shifter 2 is what you're working on. Got it.
Yep. And so he throws this thing, and I'm going to use an encounter power. This is called Drain Speed. This is range 10, one creature. So this is my plus 5 versus AC. Let's see if it hits. There's a 14. Hit his AC.
It hit anything but his AC.
Oh.
As it flies towards him, he just kind of takes his short sword and knocks it away.
Can I do?
Oh, go ahead.
Can I use my Adept Insight as a free action?
Yes.
Or if I already know that it misses, does that stop me from doing it?
Yes, that basically that is a thing that happens when you know it misses, but not by how much. Basically, if it's miss it, you can try and make it hit. And actually, if you're going to use that, he tries to hit to knock it away, but he just breaks it apart, and whatever effect happens to him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because it was one off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, what effect does it do, and how much?
All right. Okay, the first is a 1d10 plus my plus 4 damage, necrotic.
Ooh.
So let me change my thing here. So he does 12 points of damage, necrotic.
Okay, 12.
And the target is slowed until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so he can't move very much. Got it.
Also, choose one ally within 5 squares of the target.
Mm-hmm.
And that ally gains a +2 bonus to speed until the end of my next turn, and also gains 5 temporary hit points. That's going to Cedra.
Okay, so Cedra's better, can actually move faster and has 5 temp hit points, right?
That's correct.
Cool. Alrighty.
And as my move action, I'll just shift back 1.
Alrighty.
I know why it wasn't doing it. I had the thing, and I had the ruler on. Okay. So I'm just going to shift back. Actually, I'm going to move back. No, just right there. Okay. I'm done.
Alright, the Chemist. This kobold has a bandolier covered in like little like vials and stuff, and a big backpack that as it moves jingles and jangles a bit. Like there's a bunch more of that kind of stuff inside.
Ooh, Dweon is like eyeing that greedily.
Alrighty. And he's gonna pull a random one of these vials out of its backpack and throw it at Cedra because he's in the front. Alrighty. So does an 11 hit your reflex? Probably not.
It does not.
Alrighty. It flies. It just kind of goes a little bit before you, and this kind of greenish thing with an acrid smell just kind of eats away at some of the grass and and there's a small dent where it landed. It's basically, it looked like it was some kind of acid or other caustic substance of some sort. It was launched at you and didn't quite make it. And then it's Ia's turn. Finally.
Aya.
Yeah. Whatever.
Alrighty. So Aya, unlike Zool, who is more human flesh-toned, Aya is almost a bright, luminescent red. And she has horns, because tiefling. And a very long, slender tail that just sort of flows with her magnificent leather cloak. Well, it wouldn't be a leather. She's wearing chainmail covered with like a leather, outer clothing and a cloth cloak. And she's got long black hair, and she's wielding a very large spear. But at this point, as she's being glorious and thinking about her heavenly mission, she all of a sudden snaps to and looks around. There's kobolds everywhere. And so she rushes into action. And she's going to whiz over here to Cedra's aid. And she is going to actually grant...
What? Go ahead.
Not that kind of whiz. And so she's going to grant him an ardent surge. As she, kind of manifesting around her, seems to be almost like an aura, maybe? But it's almost as if her sudden flare of emotion is made manifest, and this extends to Cedra, and it allows him to bolster his morale and seal his wounds, as he is healed for a healing surge +6.
Nice.
Cedra looks like he's starting to feel a bit better, despite being covered in liquid and on the ground, as he's no longer bloodied.
Yep.
And he also gets a +1 to attack rolls until the end of my next turn. Now, with that out of the way, Aya turns around to Shifter 1, whirling her spear around gracefully and then slashing it at his face with an energizing strike.
Got it. That will
Alright,
hit.
21 versus AC. Alright, so it just deals 7 damage because I rolled poop on the damage. And, let's see, Cedra already has some temporary hit points. But alright, so she will give them to Sephiroth. You get 5 temporary hit points.
Sweet.
It might need it. Alrighty. And
So after
the
leaving a minor slash on the kobold's face, she rolls her spear around again and holds it behind her very stylishly, and proclaims that the might of Bahamut will smite you all into the ground.
Yeah. Alrighty.
And that's her turn.
Okay. Coward B. Are there any left? There is one left.
There is one.
Alrighty. He has seen the new problem. And is going to run up to Ea, whatever.
Yeah.
And try and stab her. Probably not.
Versus AC?
Versus AC, yes.
Nope, that will miss her AC. Not by much, but it'll miss.
And it's Cedar's turn. Cedar is currently prone, but, well...
Now we can deal with it.
I look down to where I got hit with the potion, and I mumble, "Did I throw up?"
You didn't get hit by that potion, it's just that it landed near you.
I mean the one that healed me earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it broke on me, and yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Dweon's little thing. Yeah, that one.
Yes.
And Dweon shouts...
and then I move action.
Yeah, Dweon shouts, "You were supposed to take it rectally, but we didn't have time for that."
Oh,
this
boy.
Works.
All right.
And I stand up as a move action, and as a minor action, I'm going to not do that yet, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then from where I'm at now, I'm going to standard action and use my daily as I just shout out in a general scream, and
what is your
and it is Risen Sun, so I kind of just do a general punch in the direction of Aya, which misses Aya, but lets out a blast that 1, 2, 3. This is going to be Coward, Shifter, and then Coward B in that order.
Coward A, B. Okay, these ones in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so which one's first?
It'll be the 18 is Coward A, Shifter, and then Coward B. I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah, it's
left to right.
I think they all hit, making sure. Shifter, yep, hits. They all hit. So the cowards have been immolated, as they basically are burned alive until they're not. Damage for the Shifter is 11.
Yeah.
And yeah, he hurts a lot. But he's still awake.
And he takes ongoing 5 fire damage, save ends.
Yep, he does. Ongoing 5 save ends.
Okay, we'll see how that works later on.
And then I'm going to action point and throw a knife at Shifter 1. And I'm just going to roll Blistering Flourish for this because it's the same attack roll except versus AC. And actually +3. So it's not the same attack roll at all. I just don't have it macroed is all.
So Shifter 1 is very wounded and on fire already.
And that's 14, 15, 16, 17 versus AC. For
yeah, that hits. That hits the enemy that would have died from the fire that he was already on fire with.
Alright, and he takes 7 damage.
And is dead. And still on fire.
Yeah!
Fire.
Yeah!
And I just kind of wobble in place as I gain my bearing from going from on the ground unconscious to exploding in fire. And kind of, I guess, wobble into the personal space of Aya briefly before getting my footing. And that's my turn.
Yep. Alright, Zool.
Okay. I'm going to start off. I'm going to do an Augment 2 Mind Lock centered right here. So that should affect 3 people. Actually, first I'm going to do a minor action distract on the chemist, which will cause him to grant combat advantage to me. And then I'm going to do the Augment 2 Mind Lock.
Alright, Shifter, Chemist, Coward, in that order?
Yep.
Alrighty, let's see this.
So 21 versus the shifter, and then I guess I will use the first damage roll.
Yep.
Okay.
That hits.
That'll be 12 versus the chemist because of combat advantage.
Let's see here. Versus Will. Nope.
And then 24 versus Coward A.
Coward A's mind implodes.
No, because it's called mind lock. His mind locks and cannot be reopened, so he just kind of blue screens and falls over.
Alrighty. So 12 damage to the shifter, though.
Yep.
If you look deep into his eyes, you'll see the words, Windows has encountered an error.
And that shifter is going to be slowed until the end of my next turn, and he also can't shift. And then I'm going to action point, 1 point dishearten, centered at the same spot.
Okay. To get both of those. Got it.
And then, yep,
And
first
shifter
one.
2 or 3. Yep, that hits.
You crit
So
him.
that is going to be max damage.
Which is
10.
10.
Going to be 10 damage. And then against the chemist is going to be an 18 for 7 points of damage.
Yep.
And then they both take -2 to attack rolls, and they can't make opportunity attacks until end of my next turn.
Alrighty.
And then I'm going to use my move action as a minor action to go prone.
Ah.
Yes. Okay. And it is... Shifter 1 is dead. Sephiroth.
Alright, since there's no enemies near me, I suppose I'll just run over to the Shifter 3 and Chemist circle. Alright.
Yeah, you can get there. Tidra, does your little aura thing do anything, like, against allies?
It said enemies only.
Okay,
It's enemies only.
Thank goodness. Okay. Alright, I suppose I'll attack the Chemist.
Alright, Chemist.
24
That will hit.
versus AC.
That hit.
Alright, it's 9 damage. He swings back around. That's not going to hit.
Well, you've at least bloodied him.
Alright, and I shift 2 spaces back.
Not having too much luck with that short sword.
Not today.
Yeah. At least you're
This usually works better in training.
Alright, Shifter 3. Shifter
Also,
3.
Also, Sephiroth is totally Russian now.
Alright, so Shifter
Not
3.
understand, comrade. Short sword usually go in stick pointy end in other men. Not sure why it's not working today.
Shifter 3 has noticed the fiery fire. Decides to walk around it to Ia.
Yeah.
Whatever. It looks like Ia. And
It looks like Aya to me. Ia would be IA.
anyways, he's going to use his shifty and try and stab Ia, then throw a knife at someone. So, first off, stabbies.
Niet, comrade.
He'll shift away and try and throw a knife at Ia then.
That's a different story. That might hit.
Wait, did you say that was the shifter that I hit with
Oh yeah,
the
that
mind
is.
lock?
Yeah. Yeah, he could.
So he wouldn't be able to shift away?
Oh yeah.
And he'd also be slowed too if that mattered.
Well, yeah. He couldn't have done any of that then.
Dimensional vortex demands his turn is impossible.
Aha!
Yeah, well, he's... sorry.
He's gonna have
Go
to
get-
step into the fire.
He's gonna have
Controller
to step
controlling.
in the fire. Fine, he steps in the fire to do that.
Yes!
Right, well, he's
Take what,
still missed
four?
his first attack.
Takes how much? 4?
4 fire damage, yep.
Yeah, let me get him this. Well, at the very
Don't
least, he
ball.
survives that. But yeah. And then he made a range attack while next to two creatures.
So, I get to make a melee basic, which is my unaugmented intent laid bare. Does 16 hit him?
Yes, he's dead.
as I shove my spear right into his.
Larnix.
Where's that hit dice?
Yeah, I don't have
right
it on
hand.
me. I don't have my hit location dice on me right now. Sorry.
I'll go with right hand. It always goes for right hand.
Unless it goes for left foot.
Well, it will go with left foot. Left foot. That'll do it.
Alrighty.
He trips and falls face first.
Yeah. Alrighty. Coward A. The last Coward A. I don't think he's used to throwing his knife yet. So he's going to throw a knife at Ia.
Does
4 damage.
Yowza.
And then he's going to walk around. Ah, no, he's not going to become fat.
You're giant!
He hit the
We're gonna
sudden
move over
consumption
here a bit.
trap.
Alright, Shifter 2 is over here. Shifter 2 has been hurt.
He's been slowed also.
Shifter 2...
He's slowed also, Andrew.
Yes, I know. I'm just checking to see what he's going to... He's going to throw a knife at something, but he's just deciding what.
Wait,
Okay.
I think Mindlock missed him, if I remember right, but Dishearten hit. I think it was.
Yeah, this one up
For
here,
the chemist.
actually. It was the...
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that one, yeah. Well, this guy is just... He's just going to throw a knife at someone. It's a shifty throw at... let's see... Sephiroth seems to be a problem. Actually, Cedra seems to be a problem. Real problem. That fire. And try and hit you, Cedra.
He hits me.
With his knife. For minimum damage.
It still hurts.
Still hurts, yeah, but it's minimum at least. Could have hurt quite a bit more. Leon!
Awesome. Well, Dweon looks around and burger trap.
Yeah, the coward who got fat. He fell into the burger trap.
Oh, that's right. Well,
He's just minding his own business, walking this direction. All of a sudden, boom! 10 burgers in his mouth at once.
let's see. Nobody's near anybody, so that doesn't work. That doesn't work either. Yeah, you guys need to be like close to things for some of my stuff to work.
Yeah, the thing is, the things don't want to be close to you.
I know.
Because one of you is on fire and not perturbed by it, and the others have big weapons.
Alright, so I think what he's going to do is for his movement, he's going to
Drive a motorcycle by the house.
1, 2, 3. Alright, he's going to go over here for his movement action, over to the other side of the cart.
Yeah.
And he is going to reach into one of his pouches, of course, and pull out... This is actually, it doesn't look like a sphere or anything. It looks like a bottle full of green stuff. And he's going to chuck his acid at Shifter 2 here.
Ah, chucking some acid. Bring it.
Chucking some acid. So this is ranged 5, 10, plus 4. 1 second. 2, 3, 4. Does a 21 hit his reflex?
Does hit.
Awesome. So that does 1d10 with no modifier. 1d10. So he does 9 points of damage.
9 points.
And ongoing 5 acid damage. Save ends.
Ooh, he's got ongoing acid. He's bloodied. Let's use this for the acid.
That looks good. And his slowed movement is gone because of that.
Alright.
And as my minor, I'm just going to give out a hoop and a holler. Ha-ha!
Yep.
That's it.
Alright.
Good.
Chemist. The chemist What's next? Let's see what he does. The chemist is going to... He's going to throw a strange concoction again.
We probably should have stance
At
effects.
Cedra. Versus Reflex. 9 versus Reflex. It's not going to hit.
That misses. What is it with people throwing liquids at me today? They're just trying to put out that fire, I guess.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Well, this
They're just
stuff...
trying to smother you with all kinds of liquids.
Yeah. This shatters
I just hope
like...
it's not a reoccurring thing.
This thing shatters and basically burns up with a smell of like it's like some kind of venom or something, but it's not. But the fire burns it away in your aura. Aya.
Alrighty. So Aya does not like this chemist at all. She's going to not step forward that close. Because she has a very long spear, she is going to try to smack the chemist around.
Got it.
And she's going to augment her intent laid bare with 2 points.
Bring it.
As she dives into its mind as she swings for a 10 versus C.
Or not.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't actually hit it. But you can communicate with it, yeah.
And he still takes a -2 to attack rolls that include me, so...
Well, he's like... As you're trying to communicate with him telepathically, he's like... Shut up! Shut it! I said shut it! Shut
I'll
up!
take no such length from a coward such as you, and she'll blow an action point to try to use a regular old energizing strike on him.
Alright. Okay. That will hit.
This should be more successful.
It was.
For only 7 damage.
Yeah.
That's what it gets from eating food.
And who are you going to give those temp hit points to?
Let's see. Where did it do? Can I give them to myself? Nope. Cedra.
Does Cedra need some?
Yeah, he got hit last turn.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Alright. 5 temporary hit points for you.
Alright. Coward B is dead. Cedra.
While Aya continues trash-talking the chemist, it's like, how does that feel, coward? Feel the wrath of my blade.
I'm a chemist, not a coward. He's the coward! He points with his left hand at the other coward.
I shout out, hey, shoulder guy, let's beat up that one. And I point to Shifter too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
And then I move on over to him.
Alrighty.
And then I'm going to Blistering Flourish him. Oh, I'm going to minor action do my Sorrowful aura for another aura, or 2 this time. Okay. It'll give him vulnerable 5 fire to my vulnerable 5 to my attacks that deal fire. And everybody in R2 gets resist 5 fire for what it's worth. And I'm going to punch him with Blistering Flourish. For probably not much of a hit.
I was making sure. Nope, that's not a hit at all.
I'm going to re-roll that with my Elven Accuracy then.
Okay, roll with your Elven Bullcrip.
And do I use the first damage roll or a second one? Because I just clicked
first
on
damage roll always
roll.
When you re-roll or roll for multiple targets.
Alrighty, in that case he takes 14 fire damage plus 3, 10, 13, plus 13 damage as I punched him again with a
flurry of nose.
Yeah,
I'm glad you read my mind.
Yeah, you didn't
of course,
need
I'm
most
psionic.
of that damage. You didn't need most of that damage, you know.
Well, as the person with several of his knives sticking in my shoulder, I was a little bit of a different opinion. Cedra is going for the overkill.
I was going to say, there is no kill like overkill.
Alright, Zool.
That's me.
Alright,
Okay.
Zool.
I'm going to stand up from prone as a move action. Mm-hmm. I am going to try and mind lock Coward A. And I don't have any psychic points, so it's going to be a 0 point. Right, 17 versus Will.
That'll hit versus Will.
And I'm going to give him the scanner's treatment. And then I'm going to use my minor action and go back into the prone.
Alright.
And then that'll be my turn.
After one's dead, Sephiroth. There's a chemist. Do you want to kill it?
Of course. Sadly, there's nowhere close enough to grant me combat advantage, otherwise I'd change aspects, so I'm just going to run straight at him.
Charging him down. Got it.
Well, not charging because then I think I wouldn't be able to use Scout's basic melee, but ooh, that's not good. Oh, I missed.
You missed. Yep, you definitely missed.
Alright, and I shift 2.
Mm-hmm. Around him. Goes down, comes down, shows down. Dweon, there is one chemist left.
Awesome. And there's somebody next to him, so that's even awesomer. So
is it?
It is. Dweon is going to he's bolstered by the awesome combat, so he's got a lot of courage, so he's going to run over to here.
Well, the reason you're bolstered is because we have an Arden in the party, but hey.
So much courage. Still,
that
5 squares away.
Exactly.
So
much courage. He's yelling from behind the rock. Yeah, kill him. And so he is going to, which does more damage. Oh, they both do the same. All right, so he reaches in his pouch, throws a very white-looking orb directly at Sephiroth, and this is my ethereal chill. Ethereal chill. Sorry. Ethereal. Okay. Words are hard. And so this is... I align my spell with... Yes. I align my spell with one... with those you wove over your allies. What? Okay, never mind. I don't like that. So that's
you have a mini fridge and you open it.
Yes, pretty much. And this is going to be versus our... okay, so this is a burst 1 centered on an ally within 5 squares of me.
Yep.
And this is versus his reflex.
The chemist.
Versus the chemist's reflex. Yeah. Correct.
I'm making sure.
Yes.
This versus Sephiroth's reflex, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No. So 22 hits his reflex. So the orb lands on Sephiroth, and this burst of cold just bursts around him. Right. And he does 1d8 plus 4. He does 5 points of damage.
Should have gotten closer with that bridge.
Yes, I know. But until the end of my next turn, any enemy that hits Sephiroth takes cold damage. Sephiroth takes cold damage equal to my wisdom modifier, which is a +2. So,
okay. Well, that kills him, but he has one last thing: self-destruct. Oh. You basically put the icy chill hits him in the backpack, and things start shattering and exploding and stuff, and he gets...
Joke's on you. Sephiroth is a ghost type. It misses.
Yeah. Close burst 1. Creatures in burst. The kobold makes a basic ranged attack against each creature in the burst. Basically, all its stuff starts exploding and blasting out of it, and yeah. One more attack against Sephiroth.
Ooh.
Crit.
Oh.
That will actually be 13 damage of acid. 13 acid damage. Because it was a crit.
Holy crit, man. You just got lucked up.
So this is hilarious. So Dweon, starts yelling and screaming, "Yeah, take that, take that, take that!" And then he like sees this stuff blowing up all over Seafru's, and it's just like, and he just kind of starts slowly slinking away behind the rock, whistling maybe.
Yeah, Sephiroth just got acid.
And since Sephiroth isn't really sure what happens, all he knows is that Duion hit him with a white orb and then something blew up in his face, so he's very angry with Duion.
Oh no.
I just, wide-eyed, I just stare, I shout, "Oh my gosh! That was so cool! Why didn't the others do that?"
Oh, no.
Because the others didn't have, strange concoctions filling their backpack.
And somewhere
really
off in the distance, you can hear the 1812 overture.
I really wish I had been able to kill him because I would have taken half damage.
Oh.
Well.
Alrighty. At this point, with the kobolds gone, the old dwarf in the cart is like, "Oh my, that was awesome!" Oh.
Yeah, I know. That was a pretty cool spinning kick I did before I kind of blanked out there for a moment.
Yeah.
It's pretty much my best move.
Yes. I haven't seen something that cool since... I don't think I've seen something that cool for a long time. Can't remember when last I did that.
Well, I'll show you again
maybe
if
next
you want,
time
but
you
not
might
now.
consider giving us a hand.
Yeah, well, you guys and gals were handling it quite well.
Well, except for, the time that, one of us almost died.
Well,
I didn't almost die. I just didn't stick the landing. And I kind of just look away, not making eye contact with anyone.
Hey, get off Zool.
I turned into a fox and jumped back in the cart.
Yeah, let me guess. You're trying to sit on Zool's lap again.
I run over
I'm
and
just
jump
sitting
on the luggage.
On the cart ledge, kind of on that corner there.
Yeah, you might want to turn off the fire. You might want to turn off the fire first. Fire bad, wooden cart. Also,
Come on,
horses
baby,
not
light
like
my
fire.
Sorry there, I got a little overheated. I was just kind of feeling the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just bouncing in my seat, grinning.
So, anyway, yeah. So
Leon sitting on the very edge of the cart in the back, kind of trying to slink into the shadows a little bit. He's still got puke all over him, by the way. He hasn't thought to clean it off.
Yeah, so... You're looking even greener now, laddie. The dwarf says towards Dweon. I think...
You
might want to clean up a bit.
He kind of just half-heartedly starts brushing it off a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Aya still stands proudly. Doesn't even look like she broke a sweat, even though she was swung pretty heavily out there. And she's like, it's already... It's like, this is going to be a fortuitous journey. Already I have struck down servants of evil in the name of Bahamut.
Yeah.
I just stare, pause for a moment.
Kind of narrating her own journey to no one in particular.
So she's trying to break the fourth wall, but it's not there.
Kind of.
Sephiroth slinks in between a couple of trunks and tries to fall asleep.
Alrighty. The journey continues. While you guys were fighting the horse and You have noticed that the horse, well, it has reins. The reins go to pretty much nowhere.
The rainbows?
Yeah, basically there's like kind of like a rope that's for kind of steering the horse around, corners and stuff. They end up nowhere, like about a foot above the edge of the cart, as though nothing was holding on to them.
I ain't gonna
Well,
ask
that's weird.
questions.
That's weird.
Wait,
Going back
what's
to
the dwarf
sleep.
even here for?
What?
What's the dwarf even here for if he's not the one driving him?
He's not driving. No, he's actually. If he was driving, well, you wouldn't be going anywhere because he's been sleeping most of the time. Resting the rest. So, yeah, it appears you have no real... there's nobody driving
No physical driver.
No physical driver.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Sure, go
Just to
ahead.
see if I can, figure out what spell it is and stuff.
Go ahead.
Let's see. So that's plus 9. Let's see. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm just kind of curious. 15.
You're sure it's some kind of magical effect, though you're having a little trouble kind of remembering what one it was. You're more an alchemist. It might be some kind of ritual. You're not really a ritual guy. You're more an alchemist. So it's probably something something of that sort.
Maybe I'll learn that in school.
Or at least learn of it, at least first.
Yeah, I'll learn of it.
So the journey continues. Anything anybody wants to talk about before we actually arrive? Or do we just...
Well, as the journey keeps going on, I know Cedra's having a lot less fun, starts looking a little bored, carves his name on the wagon at one point, things like that.
Yeah, okay. Anything anybody else wants to do on the trip there?
Let me think.
Nope, Aya just keeps thinking about all the possibilities of, what other enemies will I fight? What peoples will I liberate? Yeah. That kind of thing.
Sephruz keeps trying to sleep.
Yeah, Sephruz keeps trying to sleep. He found a nice little place between a rucksack and a like small like barrel type thing. And it's fairly comfortable most of the time, as long as the barrel doesn't move.
Occasionally through the trip, Dweon kind of looks over his shoulder as he's riding in the back and looks over and looks like he's going to say something, but then, just kind of changes his mind or kind of slinks, down and his head kind of sinks down. Yeah, so he doesn't really break into conversation with the group.
Alrighty. As you're heading around, heading up a big hill. As you hit the top of the hill, you see in the distance a fair-sized city with a large castle and assorted complex around on the mountain on the other side of it. Or on it's more a big hill than a mountain, really. And you're headed straight through the town.
Aya all of a sudden snaps out of her daydreaming. He's like, whoa! Now that is a base of operations.
Yeah. As you're heading down you head down the hill into the valley where most of the city is, and are starting to head through part of it.
I'm gonna stay on my guard while we're approaching the town. You can never trust these superstitious peasants.
It's a fairly big city, actually. Not quite. It's either a really, really big village or fairly small city, actually. But it's
so there's
in
a lot
the
of
middle
people
area.
walking. There's a lot of people walking around then, Andrew, and stuff
Well,
like that. What time of day is it?
it's getting, the sun is just starting to set. It's getting close to, nighttime. It's been a long journey. You'd say it'll probably be close to dark by the time you get to if your destination is that castle, which you're probably sure it is. You'll probably be getting there as the sun is starting to set. And
So you said there were people milling about?
a few here and there, but most of
As A is watching the surroundings pass by and she notices people, she kind of puts one foot up on the edge of the cart and proclaims "Fear not, peasantry! The light of Bahamut has reached your lands."
everybody
I shout back, "Where's the light of Bahamut?"
at this point, nobody really gets close to the cart. And anybody who was kind of walking towards it kind of goes around it a lot. Yeah, they seem to know enough about the school and who this might be and stuff. These might be students to know. Yeah, let's stay away from them. They're weirdos. And that one there with the horns, very much so. So
her intentions are good.
Yeah, it's just weird to just proclaim it at random, pretty much.
Well, it's not really at random. She just arrived and is letting everyone know that soon there will be nothing to fear.
Yeah, so as you travel through a good chunk of the town, it appears that that in the distance there's a part that might have once been be kind of like either a bad part of town or been damaged severely and wasn't really repaired. You go through it first. Most of it looks like there might have been a fire a year or two ago and they didn't quite clean it up all.
Can I do a perception check to see if there's any danger about?
Go ahead.
All right. 11.
Yes, you're pretty sure that little kid is plotting to murder you in your sleep.
I give that
fair,
look.
I was gonna say, to be fair, he's a goblin, so he probably is.
That's true.
Yeah, but still. You're pretty sure that little girl is gonna pull a knife out of her dolly and stab you with it tonight.
Well,
I sneer. I sneer at the little girl.
If she's a little vagrant, she might.
That's right.
Give it another decade, and she'll be just as much of a murderer as the rest of her people.
That's right.
This is why the light of Bahamut needs to shine brightly in these lands.
Anyways,
Duyan does the whole pointing at his eyes with the two fingers and then points at her with one finger. Like I'm looking at you.
So as you pass through what appears to be a small marketplace and are approaching the big castle's gates. It appears to have a wall around at least this side of the castle, and a courtyard inside through a kind of old-fashioned barred gate type thing. It appears the gate is fairly rusty. It's been there a long time.
Well, yeah, it's a barred gate. They just can't keep the barred gate away. He just keeps trying to sing.
And as you approach the area, as you approach the gate, you find a large you know, half orc, kind of waiting at just outside the open gate. He is carrying a large staff of some sort, very gnarled and oddly, bent. And you see a small orangey cat-like creature, kind of just sitting there beside him.
Does our fox do anything when it sees the cat?
Well, since I still have my my Kai brain, I just kind of look at the animal and roll a perception check to see if there's anything off with it, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
No, well, that wasn't.
Yeah, nothing happened. You need to have slash roll the 20.
Yeah. 27.
27.
Nice.
It appears to be a fairly ordinary bobcat type thing. You do notice it has one of its eyes appears to have been like scratched or gouged out at some point, and it's just an empty hole there.
I feel sorry for it, and then follow behind the party and slowly shift back into my normal form.
Yeah. So the half orc, with his large staff, he's kind of using as a walking stick, approaches. To describe him, well, his hair probably could have been any color, really. It appears to have all sorts of dirt and gunk in it. It could have been any color originally, but it's kind of a brownish, dark brownish right now. Same could be said for his clothing, really. It might have been green, it might have been blue. You're not really sure. Right now it's kind of brownish something.
Plot twist, it was red.
Whatever. He has, as you get close, he has these bright green eyes. That big gnarled staff. And that one-eyed bobcat seems to just follow him around. He's like, "Greeting! Welcome to Swine Dimple. My name is Professor Throg. I will be bringing you into the castle. Please, walk this way." And he walks in a very distinctive way. You do so as well.
It is not.
Yeah. Dweon yells, "Well, should we take our baggages and stuffs?"
Baggage will be taken in later. First, food. Feast happened now.
Ooh, Dweon's ears perk up at the sound of food.
Alright.
I'm still on my guard. I know this can go wrong in numerous ways.
Alrighty. You're taken into a massive hall full of like big dining tables and stuff. And it appears that several groups of students have already found places to sit. You're brought into the front area, where basically it seems like you're told to introduce yourself to the other students.
Now, we haven't had a chance to really go to our rooms or anything like that, right? We've been taken right from the cart where we've been stabbed and puked on, and then right into the dining hall.
You'll go after you eat.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, there's a few announcements and stuff, and you need to be introduced to the other students too. You are, however, just before this, you're taken to like a bathroom area to clean up a little bit. Because Throg has noticed, small one, you've been ill, haven't you?
Duyan looks around, and then he looks up and he's like, "Oh, me? No, I'm feeling fine."
Small one, you are covered in uh, vomit.
Duyan looks around at himself. It looks like during the trip he's been trying to clean it off, but of course he totally forgot about his hair.
Well, there's also a stain on his tunic now.
Oh yeah.
So you're taken to a little room before taken into the Great Hall. Clean up a bit. First impression, most important.
And Duyan does. How do I roll for that?
Just tell me you're doing it.
I'm doing it.
Yes, you're doing it. Okay.
You're doing it good. Not to mention, isn't Cedra the one who's covered with all sorts of bodily fluids?
Not bodily fluids, just... Well, wait, what was in your jar?
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
His
Plus,
phlegm.
you've been stabbed a few times, too. You probably got, blood stains all over you.
Yeah, you did get stabbed a few times, too. Blood and other substances, yeah.
Well, Cedra's he's too busy looking around and just scowling, not happy to be here to care about his appearance at the moment. He's just kind of grumbling to himself, like, don't even want to be here, I'd rather be back at home, stuff like that.
Rumble.
Yeah. Can't believe Dad made me come here.
At least you have a dad.
Hey, mine only shows up once a year to boss me around.
Mm-hmm.
All my family is dead.
Aya would also retort with the
You
"at
can have
least you
mine."
have a dead" argument, but she's too busy looking around at the castle and being in awe.
Alrighty, so after cleaning up a bit, you're brought into the great, what appears to be the dining hall, which has several huge tables, most of which are already full of students, and a couple up near the other end that appear to have older people, which are apparently the staff, or at least most of it. And you're asked to introduce yourselves and such. So who's going to do first?
Aya will, of course, take the stage first. Because of course she will.
Yes.
No,
And
she rolled a 2 on initiative. I know. I'm kidding.
She steps forth and she shouts, basically so that everyone in the auditorium can hear plentifully. And she shouts, "Hail and well met! I am Aya from the southwestern archipelago. It's like, and I am here to spread the light of Bahamut to these lands. May we work together to bring peace and equality to all who will receive it."
Okay, next.
No reaction from the crowd?
Well, a
After
few
that
people
rousing speech?
are messing with their ears, like it hurt their ears. Now she's basically yelling it out.
She can be very loud.
And you're basically told next. Who wants to go next?
Dweon has already slinked to the back of the crowd.
I'm kind of trying to blend back in there blend back in the crowd with him.
Somebody pushes Dweon up to front. You're next, I guess.
So Dweon, after getting pushed up, he, kind of brushes his hands in front on his clothes in the front, trying to make himself look presentable. He sticks out his chest, stands up nice and straight, like he's been taught how to address a crowd. And then he clears his throat, and then he looks up and sees all these people looking at him. He sees the crowd and looks at everybody, and everybody's looking at him. And he kind of turns a pale color of green at that point. And he starts stammering and stuttering, and he starts sweating profusely. he says, well, my name is Dwayne Richardson III, and yes, when Dwayne gets nervous, he does tend to a loud rumble comes from his posterior, and it kind of echoes through the hall. And he looks very sheepishly around as that happens, and he says, "And I'm very pleased to meet you all." And he kind of that's it.
Alrighty. Who's next?
I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zool from the House of Collier, and I'm glad to be here. And hopefully this first year goes well.
Alrighty. And we got Sifu and Sefruz. Zedra and Sefruz, sorry. Or left.
All right, I make my way towards the front, and I just, filled with confidence, I say, I'm Cedra Lightning Song, and it was either this or the mines. And I bow politely.
Yeah. A lady over here says, "You should have took the mines!"
I just look, kind of shocked for a moment, and I turn to any faces I know, like, oh shit, what am I in for?
Yeah, this lady over here, a tiefling, just kind of seems to be the one who yelled it out. And the
I
lady
just shoot
who
her a
is
look
on
like
fire
panicked.
next to her is like, "Yeah, good one." And Sefruz is left.
Staying behind everyone else, basically because you can't really even see him over Cedra. They hear a voice that just basically says, "I'm Sefruz Amira, and I'm here because I've got nowhere else to go."
"Well, you should have took the other option." Again from this lady again.
He says it wasn't as funny the second time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Another group. There appears that there's another group that is also still being introduced, and they introduce themselves. A halfling in kind of plate armor with a little tiny sword, but still in plate armor and halfling, introduces himself. "I'm Sir Merryweather of the Pharaoh Downs, a female dwarf who appears to be wearing just regular clothes." Just kind of introduces herself as Miss Shilly Lightningclaw, or no, Stormclaw. Sorry, and it's kind of very embarrassed and goes red. Leonara. A lady in a cloak and hood, just says, without even any preamble or anything else, "Unglar, me, am a thing." A half-orc, very wild and, stuff. Wild and...
Would you say that he has a bear-like appearance?
Maybe. He looks like he might be part bear. Yeah, maybe. Alrighty. So now there are 2 tables that are completely empty. Which do you want to pick for yourselves?
The one in the far corner.
The other ones down below here are all full of other random people. You're in the front row right now. Are the only ones that actually are empty at the moment.
Do these tables have food on them?
They have plates on them.
No food yet?
No food quite yet.
Oh, okay.
But they appear to be set up to be ready for, something. So where do you want to pick? And why is Sefru standing on the table?
He's not very good at these kind of things.
Yeah. And where's
He grew up in a
sitting?
forest. What can you do?
Yeah, so there are plenty of... Alrighty, so the other group, there's that guy there. This guy goes over here. Alright, and Chili is like way down here for the moment. Alrighty, so as you are preparing what appears to be a very elderly human wizard type, because he has a long robes with like stars and moons and stuff and shit on. Kind of walks forward a little bit and gives like a short moves forward and is like, welcome to all of our students, new and old. There's a time for speech making, but well, that can wait. Have at the food. And he snaps his fingers, and suddenly there is food all over these plates and stuff. There's all sorts of stuff. So,
like what stuff?
Alrighty, there's several kinds of meat. There's like a big, what appears to be ham, like, sliced into, several pieces. There's what appears to be some kind of mashed potato with some kind of spice or some kind of a, like, green stuff also mixed into it in little bits. There is...
We call those chives.
Yeah. Well, there's a big bowl of like fruit of various kinds, mostly berries of sorts. There's a few other larger type fruits that have been sliced into pieces. Yeah.
Sefrus grabs some meat and berries.
There's also several a couple of different kinds of like drink. And like there's like an orangish like liquid in one large carafe, or however you pronounce that. And there's also something that appears to be a little stronger than that in another, some kind of light alcoholic beverage, as well as a big thing of water with frozen bits of water in it, ice cubes.
So Aya, coming from a fishing village, is instinctively going to reach for the grilled fish, the healthy mounds of mashed potatoes, and she's going to grab like a plateful of broccoli, because that is a very energetic green vegetable, and begins to hound down.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, most of these things are labeled, but unfortunately Cedra's on the wrong side to see the label on that, on the alcohol. So yeah, he's not quite sure what he's getting into.
Sefrus grabs some water.
Yeah. Yep. There's lots of good food. All of it. you know, all of it, while not, majorly fancy, it's still well prepared and, nothing's burnt or anything.
Awesome. Dweon is, he lines up his silverware quite nicely, sticks a napkin in his shirt, like a bib. Like that's the proper thing to do. And he very carefully places a whole chicken on his plate and goes to reach for it with a fork or knife or something like that. But all of a sudden you see him just staring at this turkey or this chicken and just his hands start shaking. And then just before you know it, he just like throws the fork and just dives into this chicken and tearing into it with his hands and just getting grease dripping down his face.
Yeah. So what about Zool? What's Zool decide to eat? It's all sorts of stuff.
I'll have a little bit of everything, including some of the alcohol, but only a minor amount.
Yeah. Alrighty, and who have I think I missed. Oh, Sephruz, what are you eating? Oh yeah, you're getting the berries. It's Cedra who I didn't ask. Sorry. Anything for food? Anybody else?
Oh, I just fix whatever's nearby.
Yeah, there's
Slate my drink real quick, make a face, not realizing what it was.
Yeah. The food is good to excellent. Everything is well prepared, like I said. Nothing seems to be been burnt. At least not anything that was not supposed to be part of the preparations. And there's good food and everything. And you can talk for a while, chit-chat. Eventually, the food, everybody's had a good bit of food, and what's left kind of just disappears off the plate, being replaced with what appear to be dessert. Various kinds of pudding and cake, some kind of pie with various berries in it, as well as a large, square, large cubical transparent something on a plate.
Aya sees that and is like, I'm not sure what that is, but I want it. Not knowing what kind of food it is, she just reaches out with her hand and grabs the corner.
Okay, it kind of tries to grab the corner of the cubical object. It kind of, as she bumps against it, it kind of vibrates a little and starts moving.
Pulls her hand back. It's like, ah, what is this? She pokes it.
Eventually, if you once you poke it again, it starts moving more. It does not seem to move from the place where it's at, but it kind of wobbles and wibbles and wiggles and stuff, and it's really weird.
She's like, this must be one of the wonders of the mainland. Food that is simultaneously edible, but entertaining.
So it's like a cube, but it's gelatinous, you might say.
You might say that.
Yells, it's a slime, and stabs it with his sword.
So she reaches out with both hands to try to pick it up.
As Aya is trying to pick it up, what was it? Sephruz stabs it with his sword, or was it Sephruz? Who was
Sephruz?
Sephruz.
It was me.
Stabs it with his sword. The sword goes in. It wobbles a bunch.
I do 11 damage.
You do 11 damage to the Jello.
You never can be too careful.
Aya's kind of surprised with this. She's like, whoa! And then she just kind of stares at you for a second and it's like, oh, well, okay, I didn't know you wanted some too. All right, I'm fine with sharing. No need to hog all the wonders of the mainland to myself.
After realizing that it's not going to attack me back, I pull my sword out and sheath it.
Yes, you have just successfully defeated the Jello.
I just
Right.
watch the
Damn it.
exchange, and then after it's done, I steal a spoonful
Yeah.
from the plate.
Yeah. So.
Now, Dweehan's face is all greasy from the chicken and all of them. He's got mashed potatoes that might be stuck to his ear or something like that. And, of course, he's just feasting on all these desserts. But because he noticed that they disappeared last time, he's now shoving them, well, not shoving them, he's cautiously trying to hide food in his pockets because he's afraid it's just going to disappear again. So he's got a donut in one pocket and a piece of cake that gets kind of smushed in another pocket.
And pudding in the third.
Yes, and pudding in his
Starts to
coat
leak
pocket.
through.
Yes, he doesn't seem to mind. He doesn't seem to notice, I guess.
Yeah. So, as the night continues on, the night continues on.
Yes, we were waiting for you to finish the clause that you started.
Yes, things happened.
Do they?
Yes, there's conversations amongst some of the other students. You can overhear here and there. The two ladies over here appear to be looking at everybody around and doing like a running commentary on them and what they might be and why they're so not gonna be successful and so not cool.
So basically, this is the movie Mean Girls.
Well, they might be at least cast members. So, also you do notice there is a metal man in the over here. He appears to be it appears that near his spot in the table appeared several canisters of some kind of strangely smelling substances that do not appear to be food, but rather like something that smells kind of like polish, and another one that smells kind of like some kind of icky, oily stuff.
Is that so?
He appears to be, just using it not an amount on like joints and stuff and cleaning up and stuff.
Cedra, don't touch that canister that smells like oil.
Why not?
We might blow up.
No, probably. Is it oil in there? I bet that's not even oil, and I motioned for it. Oh, it is oil.
Yeah.
I duck and cover.
Yes, it is oil.
I just shoot you like a confused look, like, what's with the reaction?
Yeah, give me, I don't know what check this would be. Probably an Arcana check, just to kind of see if you have heard of this kind of being.
Who, me?
Yeah, whoever
Or
was
just
messing
all of
around
us?
with the oil and stuff.
Okay.
15. Yeah, you've heard rumors of like a golem-like people. With a warforged or something like that from a while that were created, and this might probably be someone of that sort. One of those people, those warforged beings. You're not. And while you're thinking on that, you're kind of like thinking about it, looking around. You realize one of the staff members appears to be another one of these kind of people, kind of beings. The one up there.
I just
Yep.
I just bluntly ask him, "Is that your dad or something?" And I motion to the other Warforged guy. Because he's sitting... Copper's sitting right nearby, right?
Yeah,
right there.
basically he's like right behind your one shoulder. Please clarify, Dad?
Oh, oh, that's what he's saying? That guy. The other one that looks all covered in metal. Warforged, that one. And I'm pointing emphatically as I say that.
I whisper to him, they don't have parents.
He is not my
Wow.
original creator, no.
Well, that's an easy mistake to make, I am probably sure. And I just start waving my hand in the air, like washing away the mistake kind of motion. And I just shrug and I say, no harm, right?
No difficulties.
Hey, you don't know that.
Yeah, so, anybody else want to do anything while they're eating the last of their dessert?
I'm gonna try to listen in to you said the two people on the right side who were trying to figure out what everyone was.
Yeah.
I just lost sound randomly, so I'm sorry if I didn't hear anything or talked over anybody or anything like that.
Alright, so you're going to try and make a perception check to kind of listen in and see what all people are talking about. And hopefully try and get these two over here.
Yeah, I have a 0 mod, so that's a 10.
10. Pardon me. You hear mostly Cedra and Copper's little exchange.
No
You hear
regrets.
what appears to be, sounds like ravenous eating from over around here-ish. And not much else. You know, there's a low murmur of background noise from other students here and there. It appears there's a conversation going on up here between these two teachers or staff members. And other stuff. You also notice that there is a door around here-ish. That probably leads to either, from the looks of it, leads to another corridor. And you see the dwarf come in and sit down that was in your cart on the way.
Does he still look sick?
He looks like looks considerably better. He's no longer greenish. He's a little pale, but other than that, he seems to be doing well. Much better.
Much weller, were you about to say?
Much better, sorry. So, he appears to have come in. Alrighty. As he, at this point, the wizardy guy comes forward. Well, we finish off our, the last of our dessert. There is one other thing we need to do before any more distractions. At our school, the students are teamed up into groups to work together, foster the cooperation amongst our members. And I have been informed that a certain group, has done well and would like, and one of our teachers would like to be their mentor. Oh yeah, I should explain about the mentorship too. Every one of these groups will have a member of staff as a kind of mentor. So, Professor Steinbanger, would you like to come forward? The dwarf swallows what appears to be what he was eating, and heads forward, comes out a little bit. I'm coming back. Oh, well, I saw firsthand a group with great potential, and I would like them to be to be mentored by me as he advances up to the table where all of you are at.
Leon waves at him.
You 5 have done very well. Would you have a name? Would like to name your group?
Aya stands up immediately and proclaims, our team shall be called the Light of Bahamut.
I stand up and I point and I shout, "No, it won't! It'll be called."
Yeah, I'm going to vote against that too.
And I look to the girls to the left on fire, and I'm like, "Never mind. I don't have a suggestion." It's going to be fire and thing related for sure.
Yeah. Anybody else have a suggestion? Anybody?
Light of Bahamut, right here. Light of Bahamut.
Light of Bahamut.
But nobody talks about. You're not supposed to talk about Murder Hobo Fight Club.
No. We're in the Murder Hobo Fight Club. We just need to give ourselves a name in the Murder Hobo Fight Club.
That's the name, the Murder Hobo Fight Club.
But you're not supposed to talk about it. That's the first rule. All right.
Zephyr's Angels.
Well, we did kill a bunch of kobolds. It should be something about that.
Or nah.
What? What are we gonna do now? What are we gonna call it? Classes and kobolds now?
The human haters. Because apparently half the people here hate humans.
Oh my. We'll talk about this later. For now, you are team. Insert name later. Alrighty. The other groups. So we have 3 other teams. So who wants to pick a team? And suddenly, bamf! Someone disappeared. This fellow appears over here. I'll take this group. What do you want to call yourself, team? And this lady here says, "We are Team Gorgon." Okay.
Aya looks over and he's like, "Team Gorgon? That's stupid. It has nothing to do with any of you. Unless that half-orc can turn people to stone."
Yeah. Sister Miriam here takes this group, who, we're still deciding. Sorry. And who's the other one going to be?
But A is not going to let this go. It's like, your name should be Flame something. What does the Warforged do? Name it after him too.
Yeah. Anyways, the final group has the Warforged fellow come up to him from the staff. It's like, I will mentor you. I am Professor 5. Greetings. And they're like, what are we gonna call ourselves? Yeah, yeah, they eventually tell him, but you can't really hear it over other stuff, as the other groups are kind of, introducing themselves to their mentors and vice versa.
Meanwhile, everyone else in the group is apparently arguing over names, and Aya's steadfast and her suggestion.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Alrighty then. Well, we'll need to head. It's getting late. Should probably take you to your common area, your place of residence. Here in a moment. Give me a minute. Let's see. Which way was it? Ah, it was over this way. I think. Yep, it was over this way. So he takes you through an area, through a few corridors towards a area on one end of the other side of the castle. Through a corridor. Alrighty. As you're headed down the corridor, those of you who are arcane or psionic will feel a little like you walk by a certain point, this little twinge like in the back of your neck or something. Like you just passed something magical. Or through something magical.
Yeah, I'm being branded.
No. That's just the magic barrier. It'll only let your group and staff members through. It's to help protect privacy and such and that. And it was just scanning to figure out who you were. Who you are. Alrighty then. Let's head on a little farther down. Alrighty, here's your this is your area. There are three off this little basically you've come out on what appears to be a kind of like a sunny. The roof has like windows in it, almost, to let sunlight into like a little like area here. You can see, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And there's like several little, not exactly buildings, but little areas off of them, with like doors. There's one over here, and one straight ahead. So, these areas, each of these, you'll notice the doors and the runes on them. Once you've passed through, only there are 2 rooms off of each of those areas, and once you've passed through, you can attune yourself to your own room's door, as well as the door to the common area in between it. And only those whom you allow through can go through. So go ahead. So go ahead and pick your areas, pick your rooms. Go ahead. Dweon has already found its place.
Yes, and within minutes, his stuff is just. Or is our stuff here? Did they get delivered
from? The
from?
stuff was like deposited out here for you to take in or wherever you're going.
All right, so Dweon drags this very large trunk with a spear mark in the top of it to his room, and within minutes, it is scattered all over the room.
Sephruz is basically, you're right. Yeah, you'll notice the places. And why are you standing in the pillar, Sephruz?
Because he was inside the pillar.
Yeah. So yeah, there's beds in like a little.
I was searching for a room because I didn't want to be across from Dweon because I don't trust him.
That would be Sephruz or Cedra.
You hear Dweon jumping on the bed.
Yeah, so you hear the creak of like bed springs. You're not sure how Dweon got
already?
lucky.
Are they already? God.
You're not sure how Dweon got lucky. Of course, so he may just have inflated his date. So yeah, you guys can. Yes, go ahead, Jared. Put your information for ears. Yeah.
After I pick a room, I just drop my cloak off in it, and then I step out into the common section.
Yeah, there's what appears to be like a little like pond type thing. There's a couple of there's a table, little like a rug, a couple of like little statues here and there, or sets of armor.
How high up is the ceiling?
In the middle area, about 10 to 12 feet. In the actual rooms, about 7 or 8.
Okay.
Aya finds a strange sign on her room and decides that she's just going to be like, oh, well, this is my place now.
Yeah.
But Jared, that actually made me laugh out loud, literally.
Yeah. So as we are, I think soon here will be a good time to finish up. So anything anybody wants to do before leaving, before we, finish up?
Yes. Yes, we need to come up with a name.
Light up Bahamut.
Well, I was thinking we'd do that. We'd think about it for over the week and have some good ideas this time.
Okay, that'll be our homework for the week.
Yes, it's your homework. And
I did give you a good idea.
What?
I gave you the best idea.
Yeah, no. Alrighty, and so we're done for the night. Gonna finish up.
Sounds good.
Anybody else?
Sounds good.
Alright.
Nope.
Then let's finish up. Anybody want to
I will roll this daily power against Andrew before we rest for the night.
Yeah, you missed by a lot. Alrighty. Say goodbye to.
But the effect is you are still subject to my implanted suggestion. Light up Bahamut.
Anyways, we're gonna finish up then.
That was 11.
Take care and see you next week. Bye.
All right, thank you,
listeners.
Thank you, Andrew.
It was fun, everybody.
If there are any listeners out there, light up Bahamut.
All right. Bye.
No, we're not doing light up Bahamut.